Hey, hey! Hey, hey, it's Friday. You made it. You've officially made it to the weekend. I mean, it's really official when it's the Friday before the week of Christmas, which is awesome. And you got bowl games that are happening today, including one that is already underway, and it is a barn burner. It's 34-0 at halftime. No joke. Somebody is beating Kennesaw State 34-0 at halftime. Did y'all know that? Look, to the one individual out there who watched every play of that first half, please text or call me with a full, detailed synopsis, would you? The rest of us will just take your word for it. Welcome in. Welcome in. I'm Matt. Beaver is here. You are here, and you can be a part of the show. You know, the free-for-all Friday concept here on this show, it's not lazy. I believe it is the best way to do a show. It's a lot like the Reaction Monday concept, and that is you take the show and do with it whatever you want to do. Really, so by commenting and texting and calling, we'll talk about whatever you want to get into. It's cool with me. Now, listen, please, before we go any further, stop what you're doing. I need you to stop what you're doing and listen. I'll mention how to comment if you want to do that on the live stream, how to text, the number to call, all that. But first, I want to remind you of this. I'm going to give you several reminders for this today throughout the show, because here in the metro, Jackson metro area and surrounding areas, if you can participate in this, it's a really good cause, all right? And it's really simple. And so I'm going to continue to remind you throughout the day on the show today that you can go and be a part of this. At 1 o'clock, starting at 1 o'clock p.m., if you're listening live here in the middle of the day, starting at 1 p.m. at the Madison County Schools Central Office Warehouse, that's over in Highland Colony in Ridgeland, a Swabulous Christmas event. If you are 18 to 55 years old, if you're in good health, come by, register, and they're going to take a swab of your mouth and your cheeks and going to see if you are a match for someone that is in need of blood stem cell donations. So it's not one specific person, but those who are in need. You have to be a match. You might be, and you could absolutely save a life. It's that simple. So go by and see if you're a match, okay? Again, today, from 1 p.m. to 3:30, so it hasn't started yet. It'll start in another hour. Over on Highland Colony in Ridgeland, the Madison County Schools Central Office Warehouse. If you're between 18 and 55 and in good health, just go by, register. There's cool stuff. It's a great cause. If you need to, if you come back and you've forgotten an address or something, there is a flyer for it, and I posted it both on Facebook and on Twitter, formerly Twitter, X. I'm Radio Wyatt. There's a picture of it there, the thing you can see it. Go by and be a part of that today. All right, welcome in on this Friday. If you would like to comment on the show today, feel free. You can do that on the live stream. Hey to you. YouTube, Facebook, X, formerly Twitter. Just type in the comment, post it, it pops up here. We can get into it. First comment I got on YouTube, Sven, my man. He's a big State fan living over in Berlin, Germany. Hail State, everyone. He said, let's see if the Green Wave can stop the Rebels. He said, I don't think so, but that's the only game Ole Miss will win. I think what he's talking about is in the playoff. Thinks that they'll be one and done. We'll see. I don't think so. This is kind of like Oregon and James Madison. It is so lopsided just from a personnel standpoint. There's just, you hate to look at anything and say there's no chance, but there's really no chance. Whatever that, I think it was about I'll have to go back and look it up. We'll do that later. I think it was about a 35-point margin the first time they played. It won't even be that this time. I'm just telling you, this is going to be roll them in and roll them out real quick. So, you have to, maybe I'll be wrong. We shall see. Maybe I'll be wrong, but I don't think I'm wrong. Especially though they both have the weird situation, but from all accounts, you listen to people, fans and others, that talk about the Ole Miss situation, and they tell you that the team's actually glad that Kiffin's gone. So it's probably a positive for them. They didn't like him anyway. Whereas you have the Summerall situation where, he's still there. He's kind of finishing up. They know he's going. That whole weird dynamic of, oh, this is this coach I'm supposed to run through a wall for, but he's already the Florida coach, technically. He's already had his press conference down there. Go Gators. You see what I mean? Like, just no chance whatsoever. So it'll be a laugher. But it'll be a cool experience for the people who go. All right. Also, text me. Country Please and text line. Number to text is 885-3776. That's a 601 number. 885-3776. Text away. Country Please and text line. Stands for Country Please and Sausage. Y'all, a box showed up at my house. Lots of really cool things in there, including this handy-dandy ball cap with the Red Hog logo from Country Please. And I'm stocked up on T-shirts and hats and all kinds of other stuff. And here's the thing about this. This is almost the exact same hat as the light gray with the rope across the front Prince Oil hat that I've been wearing every day. It became my new favorite hat. And I just wear it and wear it and wear it and wear it. And I think I still will. But the problem is I got this one yesterday, and it's newer. And it has the red hog on the front for Country Please. I may wear this every day. I mean, you can only wear one hat at a time. You got to pick one. And right now I've picked this one. You too can get a hat like this. Just go to Country Meat Packers on Highway 49 in Florence, Mississippi, and go in there to the butcher market, and they've got cool stuff like that in there, like this in there too. The best thing about this? It smells like the butcher shop. Whew, buddy. It smells like that grill, that smoker. Bring it on. I talk about how good your mailbox will smell when you get a shipment from from High Point Roasters Coffee. You get a hat from them, you walk around smelling like barbecue all day. It's great. And you can also call me. I get to hear your voice that way. Speaking of my man Philip Prince and Prince Oil Company, call me. Call me on the junction phone. The number to call is 897-1059. That's a 601 number. 897-1059. Call that number. We get to chat it up. Talk a little bit. Well, at first, you get to talk to Beaver. Speaking of, right out of the chute, a little birdie told me that our man Beaver made an update, an addition to the official mascot of this show, Barry Rice, who's sitting in the back of the studio right now. Happy Friday, Beaver. You in a good mood?
You too, Matt Wyatt. What'd you say? I'm sorry.
Are you in a good mood?
Yeah.
Feeling happy?
Yep.
Does it make you happier to look back there and see all that 49ers gear all over the mascot?
It really does. I finally got a use for this championship belt.
Where did you get that, by the way?
So over the summer, WWE sells these championship belts.
Oh, do they? Okay.
They're licensed with teams. But the real ones are $600 American dollars, which is just a ripoff. I can't believe they have the nerve to charge for that. Well, over the summer, my lady friend found a knockoff website for the bargain price of $120. That's where I got it.
Okay.
But let me tell you about this belt. It's such a misprint. Man, that's why I say I finally have a use for it, because It's just been sitting in my floor for the past 4 months. It says established 1960. Well, the 49ers were established in 1948.
Yeah.
The logo says the NFC East. Obviously, they're in the NFC West. It's got fleur-de-lis on it. Obviously, that's the Saints. So it's really not well crafted. So, but hey, for the purposes now, for our Bear champion purposes, it's good.
It's working for us right now. Okay, good. And if y'all want to see it, I shared the updated picture of what Barry Rice, aptly named by Beaver yesterday, which was absolutely brilliant, by the way, just out of nowhere. And you could spend a week doing a contest and not come up with a better name than that, Beaver. So next time I need to name something, just remind me. I just need to ask you. That was great. Barry Rice, he's back there, the official mascot of the show. Now he has a championship belt, appropriately donning a championship belt. Picture on Twitter. I'm Radio Wyatt. I can't stop saying Twitter. If I say Twitter, everybody knows what it is. Beef, have you made the switch in your vernacular, your everyday, verbal exercises to not say Twitter and you say X?
Yeah, I hate when people still say Twitter or X, formerly known as Twitter, or Twitter X. Like, it's been long enough now. I've stumbled along the way.
Yeah.
But it's been long enough now where I think we can finally just drop the Twitter.
Just drop it. Okay. Thanks for saying that. I need a kick in the rear end on that. It's X. It's on X. We're no longer saying the T word around here. Let's see how long that lasts for me.
But it was, it's still understandable. I'm still not going to fault you if you do, because if you slip.
Yeah.
Because it was Twitter for ever.
Forever. The thing I think is less excusable is when people write it or type it, Beaver. Like if I'm reading a text story and they've actually typed out the word with a capital T, Twitter, and it's now. I mean, what? That's irresponsible. Or something.
I still see that. I've seen it in articles on The Athletic, on Yahoo, where they do still do that. They write out X, formerly known as Twitter. Now, if you're like slip of the tongue, like I said, I'm not going to fully fault you.
Yeah.
But yeah, just like you're pointing out, if you write that out, that is useless.
I agree.
Why would you do that?
Why would anybody do that? Why would they do it? All right, it's X. We're going to say X. Y'all got it? If you get confused, look it up. X. All right, listen. Your texts on the Country Pleasing text line coming up. Your comments on the live stream coming up. From YouTube, from Sven and Old Tackle, Jared, Chris, all y'all coming up. First, a whole batch of Friday headlines.
I'm Ron Burgundy, and this is what's happening in your world.
Good evening, and welcome to Eyewitness News.
Here's what's making news.
Headlines on the show brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group, powered by Illuminate Bank right here in Mississippi. Anything mortgage related. You want to move? Buying, selling, refinancing? Do yourself a favor. Online, mortgagemanms.com. Again, mortgagemanms.com. Y'all go holler at Went. Literally and figuratively. Went! Headline number one. Ohio University says extramarital affairs and alcohol use are at the heart of the reason they are firing their football coach. Ohio University cited football coach Brian Smith's romantic relationships, including one he admitted to with a student, as well as an allegation of public intoxication, in a letter stating its intent to fire him for cause. He was put on leave December the 1st, fired this week officially for what the university is calling serious professional misconduct and practicing in activities that reflect unfavorably on the university. End quote. And yeah, if everybody's asking the question, sure. What if he were coaching a national championship team? Would you know about it? I don't know. He's not, so we'll never know. Headline number two. Texas fires defensive coordinator Pete. Stay with me here. Is it Kwiatkowski? Kwiatkowski? Close enough. And guess who they're bringing back? Literally, this is not a description of this incoming coach at Texas for effect on the radio. This is the literal truth. Texas is bringing in one of the coaches, the top 3 coaches who've been paid the most money of anybody to not coach, Will Muschamp. I think if we look it up, Jimbo Fisher is the only coach in America who's been paid more money to leave than Will Muschamp has over his career. He's number 2 on the list of coaches that has made the most money. They're paying you to leave. Nobody's made, only one guy in the history of the world has made more money to not coach than Will Muschamp. He is the new Texas defensive coordinator. Longhorns are bringing back Muschamp, replacing Kwiatkowski, who was fired along with defensive pass game coordinator 𝐌𝐢𝐬𝐬𝐢 on Thursday. Changes in comes, what do they call him? Boom Boom? Was that his nickname? Or Bam Bam or Boom Boom or something? And then another quarterback. Yesterday we had the story of Bo Pribula at Missouri, who came back after his injury, but he's deciding to transfer. He's not going to play in the bowl game for Missouri. Today it's TCU. TCU QB Josh Hoover entering the transfer portal and is going to miss the Alamo Bowl. Of course, he actually made the announcement last night. And this has been a big-time player, one of the most productive out there available. He is at 9,629 passing yards, 71 touchdown passes, which is going to, I think, be the most of anybody returning in college football next year. So he's going to go cash in and make him a big signing bonus and all of that to go play for somebody else. So those are your headlines, brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group, powered by Illuminate Bank right here in Mississippi. All across the state, anything mortgage related, that's where you want to go. Look them up online, mortgagemanms.com, mortgagemanms.com. Jason in Flagstaff, Arizona. Notice I said in, Jason. I didn't say from. I'm just pointing that out. I don't want to hear anything else about it. We were talking about the first time that Ole Miss and Tulane played. I said I thought it was a 35-point margin. It is. Jason pointed out that it was 45-3 when he turned the game off in the middle of the third quarter back then. That's what he said. I don't think it was, but it was in the fourth quarter when they started. They really kind of they really blew the doors off. Yeah, 45-10. So it was a 35-point game. Honestly, that'll be the kind of, with everything that's gone on and time and all that stuff, that's the kind of score you're going to see at about halftime this go-around. It'll be a little bit like this Kennesaw State, Western Michigan deal you're looking at here. They haven't started the third quarter yet. This is the Myrtle Beach Bowl. It's happening today. And it's two teams that actually have really good records. Western Michigan in the MAC, they were 9-4 coming in. Kennesaw State, whatever league they play in, they were 10-3. But Western Michigan scored 27 points in the first quarter. It is 34-0 in half right now as we speak. Denzel, White Denzel on the Country Pleasing text line. Number to text is 885-3776. And let me go ahead and throw this out there. It being Friday, you have two more games that are going to happen today, including a playoff game between Alabama and Oklahoma. It ought to be a pretty good game, actually. And then some more playoff games this weekend. So now is the time. Let me know what you think is going to happen in these games. I really am curious to see kind of what the majority opinions are out there of these games and what kind of scores you're going to see. So text me or comment. Predictions for the games, let me know. Denzel texts and says, on this day in wrestling history. Now does he mean wrestling? We can make the distinction. there's a difference between wrestling and wrestling. Wrestling is what my nephew does over in Wetumpka, Alabama, on their wrestling team in high school. Wrestling is Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan, and that bunch. But he says on this day in wrestling history from Starrcade in Washington, D.C., Goldberg faced Bret Hart in the main event in the match that led to the end of Bret Hart's career. Okay, what happened? For those of us that don't know Denzel, I need to know what happened. Why did it lead to the end of his career? Was it planned? Was that part of the script? Or are we saying he got hurt or something? Of course, Beaver, that'd be something I could ask Beaver, too. He would know the explanation. I'm always up for some wrestling. I think it's fascinating. I don't know that much about it, but I'm fascinated. It's kind of like cars, like classic cars. I know nothing about it, but I'm fascinated by it. Same thing with wrestling. So feel free to educate me. I'm in. You don't talk about it, I'm in. All right. More texts coming your way. James and QB1 and the rest of y'all. Josh, he commented over here on YouTube what he thinks is going to happen tonight with Alabama. So we'll take a look at some of that. Just getting started with you here today on this Friday show. I'm Matt in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau, go! With the home team. Back after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. Local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties in this entire state. And if anything does arise and you need to, run it up the chain or up the flagpole, the home offices for Farm Bureau Insurance are in Jackson, Mississippi. It's right here in the state of Mississippi. It doesn't get more local than and personal, the service that you get with Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. I can't recommend them highly enough. And if you haven't, recently, let them give you a quote. Home, life, auto. It's Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple. Bun size, 3 links, bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage. We'll be right back after this message from C Spire. My name is Matt Wyatt. I host the Matt Wyatt radio show out of my home using C Spire fiber.
And when we hit the road as a family, Matt's show goes with us, thanks to C Spire Wireless.
Its ultra-reliable nationwide network lets me broadcast live from anywhere.
And never miss a moment that matters. connecting you to what inspires you most on C Spire's blazing fast 5G network. And right now, get your choice of free phone. That's customer inspired. That's C Spire.
Y'all like coffee? I know you do. Check it out. Little High Point Roasters from New Albany, Mississippi. That is the breakfast blend. It's whole bean. And if you notice, that's how much I've had already. Brazil Oberon. Not Ogeron or Orgeron, you LSU. No, Brazil Oberon. That ain't all. What we got there? What flavor is that? Papua New Guinea, grade AA. Bring it on. High Point Roasters, New Albany, Mississippi. Roasted right there. That's whole bean. One more. I got more. Ah, tried and true. Magnolia blend.
The Zone 105.9.com.
And just like that, we're back. Back with you here in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau Insurance, go with the home team. Sven says on YouTube, Western Michigan ain't no blue blood, but they played in the Midwestern, what? Yeah, the MAC conference and beat Miami of Ohio soundly. Oh, in the championship game. Okay, gotcha. The MAC championship, and they beat Ohio. They're pretty good, yeah. Aren't they? That's the school where's the brown uniforms. There aren't too many schools that can make use of brown, the color brown in their uniforms. No, I got it. Yeah, we got you, Sven. I knew what you meant. Now, all right. So here's a handy chance to remind you. I mentioned this right at the top of the show. There is an event going on today, and in the Metro, you need to participate if you can. A chance to really benefit someone and potentially save a life. It's going to start at 1 over at the Madison County Schools Central Office Warehouse. Madison County Schools Central Office Warehouse. That's on Highland Colony there in Ridgeland. It'll go from 1 to 3:30. They're calling it a Swabulous Christmas event. If you're 18 to 55, and in good health, go by and register. Take a swab of your mouth and your cheeks and see if you're a match for someone in need of a blood stem cell donation. Free, quick, painless. They're having a fun experience over there. It's the easiest gift that you're going to be able to give this year. It could save a life. Again, 18 to 55, 1 to 3:30, Madison County Schools Central Office Warehouse. Now, upon hearing that, Old Tackle had a question that he raised here on the live stream on YouTube. He says, reckon how much of your audience is too old to get swabbed? Now, what are you implying, Old Tackle? I was joking back in the summer. I think it was in the summer when we toyed with the idea of renaming this show OGR. Stands for Old Guy Radio. How many are over 55? Well, Old Tackle, what about you? Are you too over? I mean, there's a certain there's a certain percentage of our audience is too old for that. Okay, fine. But we got some young'uns. Like Jared, he's a young'un. He said, Happy Maroon Friday. Well, back at you, Jared. Happy Maroon Friday to you. Chris, in all caps, texted the show and says, Hail State Friday. Well, just for you, Chris. Scream, would you? Come on. Really loud, Chris, wherever you are. How does that make you feel? Sven's watching Western Michigan, Kennesaw State, 34-0 at halftime. Have they started the second half yet? If it was a close game, I might check it out, give you some play-by-play. Jared came back on Facebook and said, I understand for time zone purposes why Oregon has the late game tomorrow night, but Miami versus A&M should be the primetime game, he says. What are the game times? All right, so tomorrow. Yeah, I mean, 11, that's a big game now. That's a big game for 11 a.m. How do you think A&M feels about that? You know, go 11-1, host a playoff game at home. You got a 100,000 seat stadium, really loud place. Hey, congratulations. Your kickoff time, 11 a.m. in the morning. How do you think they feel about that? Yeah, I'm with you, you know, in terms of interest and all that kind of stuff. But I guess, yeah, well, you and I both understand the whole Oregon thing and trying to, you know, space it out, I guess, give everybody a chance. But here's Oregon out there hosting James Madison. That's another one. It'll be if that game is not 45-0 at halftime, I'll be really amazed. But yeah, they're going to put that one in prime time at 6 o'clock. Way to go. Way to go. Hold on. Wait just a minute. Wait just a minute. Is this real? It's real. Hold the phone. Stop the presses. We have a baseball story on our hands that I did not know about until Brett and Brandon just texted me this. 𝐁𝐮𝐫𝐬𝐬𝐢 is being traded to the Pittsburgh Pirates. Story at MLB.com. 3-team trade. The Pirates, Rays, and Astros are close to a 3-team trade that would send second baseman Brandon Lowe, who was really good, outfielder 𝐁𝐮𝐫𝐬𝐬𝐢, and left-hander Mason Montgomery to Pittsburgh. Then you'd have right-handed pitcher Mike Burrows going from the Pirates to the Astros as well. Now, the story that I'm looking at right now says the clubs have not confirmed the deal, which was pending physicals, so that's the only thing they're waiting on is physicals. The Rays would get out of the deal, outfielder Jacob Melton and right-handed pitcher Anderson Brito from the Astros. Pirates are getting Lowe, Mangum, and Montgomery. What does it say? Does it say anything here about it? Well, it doesn't say it. There's not a ton of details in here. And most of what I'm reading is about Brandon Lowe. How about that? Well, all right. You know what that means? So I did the whole MLB app package thing and bought it last year so that I could watch every Rays game. The only thing I'll miss about it, really, like I had no tie to the Rays. I enjoyed watching them play, though. They played hard. The only thing I'll miss about watching Mangum with the Rays, the Rays broadcast guys were great. They just did a really nice job. Let's see what the Pirates guys are like because I'll be watching the Pirates this year if he's playing for them. And help me out, Brett. Did Frazier wind up back in Pittsburgh? I mean, is that going to be a reunion of teammates right there, yay or nay? Anyhow. So that's interesting. Welcome to the world of college sports. Let me get back where we were, too. Brett, thanks for sending me that. The game times for tomorrow, 11 a.m. is the Miami and Texas A&M game. 2:30 is the Ole Miss game. But here's the deal. What does this mean, y'all, in terms of what kind of broadcast you're going to get for that? Some of y'all that know, because it says it's going to be TNT, HBO Max, or True TV. Well, if that's the case, then who broadcasts their game? Is it going to be people we've never heard of, or are they hiring a crew that's already doing college football? It's kind of weird. Then at 3, you're going to get the FCS semifinals between Montana and Montana State. And that's like a rematch of a rivalry game that happened about 3 weeks ago. They played each other. 6:30, also on the TNT thing, is the Oregon-James Madison deal. I mean, so, congrats to TNT for getting a couple of playoff games, but Utah about a couple of stinkers, because both of those would be massive blowouts. And then Saturday night, you get another semifinal game in the FCS, which is Illinois State Villanova, should you choose to tune into that. Tonight, like we said, you get Alabama, Oklahoma. They're putting that one on ABC at 7. The Memphis NC State deal, that's a bowl game. Today at 1:30, they're kicking it off down there in Tampa. I don't know anything about NC State. That's the deal. They're a 7-5 team from the ACC. I think they have them picked to win that game against Memphis. No, Memphis beat Arkansas earlier. They've gone through the coaching thing with Silverfield leaving to go to Arkansas. Memphis then hiring Charles Huff. I don't know what the situation is with them. As far as coaching the game, I'm not really that familiar with NC State's team this year, though. I haven't been able to really watch them play. Okay, so I got to get back. QB1 texted the show on the Country Pleasing text line, said the Texas defensive coordinator firing makes no sense to me. I heard a lot of people, moaning about it too, wondering why it wasn't an offensive change for them and it was defensive. You just never know. That's the thing. You never know. I mean, there could be something behind the scenes we didn't know. I don't know. James, you got a good question. I think I'll tee that one up when we come back, and then we'll get in some more texts. And he was wondering, a little off topic, but what's the next schools that you could see trying to join or do the SEC thing and expand it in the years to come? I think it will happen. We'll hit that, as well as text from State Grad and Jason and Brett, and Lance and Johnny Reb and Grumpy and Tyga and Matt from Brandon, all y'all, and your comments on the live stream coming up as well. Still early, just getting started on this Friday in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Back after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
The Junction Delis, convenience redefined, and Prince Oil Company, a match made in heaven. The Junction Deli, fueled by Prince Oil Company. Prince Oil Company has been fueling Central Mississippi since 1960. It's a pretty good little while. Wonderful people. Man, am I ever more tickled that they're a part of the show and I'm a part of their team now. As you know, if you listen to the radio show, I've been to the Junction in several different places around the state. I've bought gas just like you at a lot of places that are fueled by Prince Oil Company, and they are really wonderful people. By the way, that brand spanking new Junction Deli, Chevron, right across the highway from Germantown High School. It's in Canton, but we say Gluckstadt. Do you realize they and other Junction Delis, they serve country pleasing sausage over there on the buffet? They don't get much better than that. The Junction and Prince Oil Company. That's what I'm talking about. We'll be right back after this message from C Spire. My name is Matt Wyatt. I host the Matt Wyatt radio show out of my home using C Spire fiber.
And when we hit the road as a family, Matt's show goes with us, thanks to C Spire Wireless.
Its ultra-reliable nationwide network lets me broadcast live from anywhere.
And never miss a moment that matters.
Connecting you to what inspires you most on C Spire's blazing fast 5G network. And right now, get your choice of free phone. That's customer inspired. That's C Spire.
Welcome to my photography studio downtown Tupelo. Everybody needs a headshot, especially if you're in the professional world. in sales, any sort of customer-related business, outreach business, anything like that, everybody needs a headshot. Here at my photography studio in Tupelo, we do a lot more than just headshots, but we're kind of focusing on headshots for that very reason, because everybody needs it. Let me show you a little something about it. One thing I'm able to do here is sort of have 2 to 3 different looks in a small space that we can do in a short amount of time. Several different looks and styles of lighting with studio equipment, studio lighting. Some with flash and a particular look that I've worked on, a constant lighting scenario where you sit down, the lights are already on, you lean in, and we kind of illuminate the whole face. And we get several options in the studio in a short amount of time. Here's 2 priorities for me when I shoot headshots. One is it has to look like you. Okay, none of this fake stuff. The other goal is it's got to look like you at your best. And that's my job as a photographer. And I've got a lot of experience over the years, and I feel really confident I can do that for you. I would love to schedule a session for you here at the studio in downtown Tupelo. I'm above the Reed's Gift Shop, just off of Troy Street, the corner of Troy and Spring. If you can't get to Tupelo, that's okay. Let's talk about it, because we can pack the studio up and come to you if the schedules fit and that sort of thing. I'd love to help you with your headshots. I think everybody needs them. I'm inviting you to please email me, reach out. You can go to my website, mattwyattmedia.com, email address matt@mattwyattmedia.com, and let's talk about your headshot. Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi, local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone.
That's The Zone 105.9, and coming to you worldwide at thezone1059.com.
All right, back with you. All right. Sven says, best portal QB, Brendan Sorsby from Cincinnati, around 3,000 yards, 28 touchdowns, only 5 interceptions. Brendan Sorsby, Cincinnati, 3,000, 28 to 5. Really good numbers. Where's he going to go, Sven? Where are they saying he's going to go? Regarding the Alabama-Oklahoma game, Josh says on YouTube, Matt, I think Alabama has a coming out party tonight. We're getting a discounted line because of their last 5 games versus really tough defenses, and they were also super banged up. Oh, gotcha. Gambling. Got it. Discounted line. Got it. I was missing it there for a minute. Oh, and on the thing that I didn't know the history behind it, Denzel brought it up, that on this day in wrestling history, Goldberg and Bret Hart faced off in the main event. Something happened, ended Bret Hart's career. Jared said Goldberg kicked Bret in the head, causing him to have to retire from a head injury. Back to the Alabama game tonight. Sven says if the Gumps can't run the ball for more than 100 yards, they will lose the game. And so far, nobody ran on Oklahoma, and Bama's run game is non-existent. And he likes Oklahoma 17-13. That's kind of how I feel, Sven, is like I like Oklahoma in a close game. We shall see. I like your reasoning, too, backing it up with a little bit of reasoning. I was wondering about the injury situation and being banged up thing for Alabama, too, and they've had a little extra time. But Josh said Alabama was so banged up in the SEC championship game. He said, I got to think Oklahoma not playing football in 3 weeks could come out flat. In your experience, does that hold a lot of weight when you have that much time off, he said. It's a good question. So the only thing I experienced anywhere close to sort of that time off was bowl game stuff my last 2 years of college. And see, so when I was a junior in college, so next to last year, I'm on the team that we won the Western Division. Okay, so we played in the SEC championship game in Atlanta, and that was, I guess, always has been the first weekend in December, hasn't it? See, because the thing is, back then we were playing an 11-game season. Now it's 12, but I still think it was the first weekend in December. And then the Cotton Bowl was a month later against Texas, and I think it was New Year's Day. So, you're talking about that experience from back then, and it would have felt maybe a little similar to this. Now you have the playoff. Back then you didn't have the playoff, but back then your bowl games like Peach Bowls and Cotton Bowls, it really felt like a huge deal to all of us. It was, it's just kind of the way it felt. It's not like bowl games now. So, a month there, and then my senior year of college, the next year, we played in the Peach Bowl against Clemson. And that would have been a little bit longer layoff because we didn't make it to the SEC title game that year. We had 9 wins, but we lost the wrong games, and so we missed out by 1 game of going back to Atlanta. So we would have finished at Thanksgiving with egg and then played in the Peach Bowl on like December 29th, I think it was, right around there, just before New Year's. And so, again, a 1-month deal. And I just don't know if I have enough experience my own, Josh, to really compare to what the situation they're in and how it might play out. I do think there are some scenarios where a layoff can factor into being a little flat. But I know my senior year, we had won the rivalry game in the egg. And then your next game's a month later in the Peach Bowl on December 29th. And we were certainly not flat. We played Clemson, actually won that game. And we certainly weren't flat. We were ready to go. The year before was so much different because I'll be honest with you, making it to the SEC championship game was such a huge deal for our team. And then we played really well in the game. It was against Tennessee. We played really well in the game, actually had a fourth quarter lead in the game and lost it. And it was like this huge gut punch and so to make it to the SEC title game back then and not win it, it was difficult to really get back up, to get ready, to be really excited to go play anybody in a bowl game. Does that make sense? It's like, okay, it's great. It's fun. Dallas for a week. Okay, play the game. Texas, Ricky Williams, sure. But it's like a lot of the air was out of the balloon with that SEC title game deal back then. That was my experience in a different era. So I don't actually think, that the 3-week deal automatically leads to Oklahoma being flat. I don't actually think that. I mean, it could, but I don't think it will because this whole playoff thing, especially with a team like Oklahoma, an opponent like Alabama, I think that's different. Lentz texted the show. He said the game times tomorrow are played around the NFL games. TV does what's best for the money. That's why A&M is at 11. You don't have any NFL. Well, that's what I was thinking. Hey, look what came. Look at here. Somebody just walked into the studio and handed me another box from Country Pleasing. Country Meat Packers, Florence, Mississippi. I don't have my knife. I got to go find my knife so we can open this thing up during the break. I'll tell you what's in this box. Hold on. I think it may be. Oh, I don't know what's in here. I can't tell by smelling. Box is sealed up too good. So we'll open this during the break, and I'll tell you what's been delivered here. CountryPleasing.com, at Country Pleasing Sausage, and at Country Meat Packers on Instagram. Look, it matches my hat. Good stuff. Way to go, homecoming queen. My own personal delivery service on live radio. We'll open that up during the break and see what's in there. Johnny Reb texted the show, and he said that would put 2 Jackson Prep players in Pittsburgh. Connor Griffin is already there. Oh, how cool is that? Johnny, absolutely. How cool is that? You talk about money well spent. Now, if we got opening day rosters, you think we could? What's the situation though with Griffin? Because he was like by far the best player in minor league baseball last year, and they kept throwing at him. But if we get him up, are we going to have him on opening day with Jake Mangum, Johnny Reb? You'll be just like me, won't you? Paying that, what is it, $150 for the MLB app thing? We can watch any game you want to watch? Hey, I'll be a Pirates fan. You bet. What?
Dude, it's the Pirates.
But
3 winning seasons in 20 years. Oh, 2 guys who played in the state that I live in. Oh, let's freak out. Like we do all the time with our quarterbacks.
Well, but I think I've gotten to a point where it's more fun watching somebody that I kind of halfway know opposed to pulling for a team from Atlanta who doesn't, first of all, give one flip whether I'm a fan or not over here in Mississippi, Beaver. And 2, I don't know anybody on their team. Well, Austin Riley, I guess, we got Riley. Okay, but that's, I don't know, the news kind of worn off. It's all brand new. I get what you're saying. It has nothing to do with the Pirates. It's just whatever team it would be. Beaver, I did the same thing with the Rays last year. I'll admit it. I just openly admit it. To the point that you even had to talk me down from doing Rays updates on the show. You had to remind me, Matt, no one cares what the Tampa Bay Rays did last night, how close the game was.
Well, no, they care. They care because it wasn't a Rays update. It was a Jake Mangum update.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore,
right.
Oh, it's a player that played baseball in the state that I live in. Let's freak out.
Well,
just like Dak Prescott, just like Eli Manning, just like Gardner Minshew.
Okay, but here's the thing, though. I haven't done that. I didn't do that with Eli. I don't really know Eli, and he didn't play at my school. Okay, Gardner Minshew. I think it's a great story. I hadn't really done that as much with Gardner. I don't really know him. Okay, I kind of know Jake. We're best friends.
Well, then it's okay. If you just tell me you're best friends, I will accept it.
I mean, he might not tell you that, but I think that. No, but it is true. Okay, Dak, I knew Dak, from covering him in college and being around him and stuff with the team, and then he's at my school, so that's that thing. I didn't do that with Eli. Now, a bunch of Ole Miss fans did do that with Eli. The whole time he was there, pretend to be a Giants fan. And as soon as Eli retired, whatever, they're no longer Giants fans. I whatever that's called, will admit, did it with Dak because of state. Doing the same thing with Jake because of state. I'm just out here admitting it, B. It's tough out here in these streets. All right, come back for hour 2. I'll tell you what's in the country pleasing box that got delivered today. Back after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back. Yeah. After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, Oh, pork and pineapple. Bun size, 3 links bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Welcome to my photography studio downtown Tupelo. Everybody needs a headshot, especially if you're in the professional world, in sales, any sort of customer related business, outreach business, anything like that. Everybody needs a headshot. Here at my photography studio in Tupelo, we do a lot more than just headshots, but we're kind of focusing on headshots for that very reason, because everybody needs it. Let me show you a little something about it. One thing I'm able to do here is sort of have 2 to 3 different looks in a small space that we can do in a short amount of time. Several different looks and styles of lighting with studio equipment, studio lighting. Some with flash and a particular look that I've worked on, a constant lighting scenario where you sit down, the lights are already on, you lean in, and we kind of illuminate the whole face. And we get several options in the studio in a short amount of time. Here's 2 priorities for me when I shoot headshots. One is it has to look like you. Okay, none of this fake stuff. The other goal is it's got to look like you at your best. And that's my job as a photographer. And I've got a lot of experience over the years, and I feel really confident I can do that for you. I would love to schedule a session for you here at the studio in downtown Tupelo. I'm above the Reed's Gift Shop, just off of Troy Street, the corner of Troy and Spring. If you can't get to Tupelo, that's okay. Let's talk about it, because we can pack the studio up and come to you if the schedules fit and that sort of thing. I'd love to help you with your headshots. I think everybody needs them. I'm inviting you to please email me, reach out. You can go to my website, mattwyattmedia.com, email address matt@mattwyattmedia.com, and let's talk about your headshot.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi, local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties in this entire state. And if anything does arise and you need to, run it up the chain or up the flagpole, the home offices for Farm Bureau Insurance are in Jackson, Mississippi. It's right here in the state of Mississippi. It doesn't get more local than and personal, the service that you get with Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. I can't recommend them highly enough. And if you haven't, recently, let them give you a quote. Home, life, auto. It's Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team.
Bible. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
I want to learn how to cook.
I'm Eddie Holcomb with Washington County Farm Bureau Insurance.
I'm Scott Rainwater with Farm Bureau Insurance here in Washington County.
I'm Blake Policini with Washington County Farm Bureau.
I'm Brian Street with Farm Bureau Insurance in Washington County, and we are your home team.
I think you know what time it is. It's time to eat. Country pleasing, jalapeno and cheddar, green onion. And no, it's not a grill, see that? But the fire is just about burnt down enough where it's time to put some of this on there. And the only decision when it comes to country pleasing sausage is which flavor, jalapeno and cheddar or maybe green onion. Both. Break me off a piece of that. Look at that, what that is. That's real green onion. Like that monkey who set his tail on a railroad track. It won't be long now.
at thezone1059.com.
All righty, back with you. Let me tell you something. It's been a good day so far. It's been a good day so far on a Friday. It has nothing to do with Western Michigan beating Kennesaw State 41-6 right now in the fourth quarter of the Myrtle Beach Bowl. Nothing to do with that. No, it has everything to do with the fact we had a good first hour. Tons of comments on the live stream. Hey to y'all. I'm coming to you over there on YouTube and Facebook and X. A ton of texts, plenty to come to and get to from Tyga and Matt, J-Rock and Grumpy and Scott, Brett, Nick, and everybody. Has everything to do with we're all Pirates fans now, right? Way to go. Jake Mangum's being traded to the Pirates. Connor Griffin, one of maybe the top prospect in all of baseball, from right here at home. And Jake, same organization, but maybe get them up there at the same time. Let's hope. And two, Jake gets to play in a real Major League uniform. Classic. But also a lot to do with what's in this box. In case you were just tuning in, and if you're on the live stream, you can see it. If you're listening, you're going to get the audio version of it. But at the end of hour one, Homecoming Queen walks in here into the bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio, Farm Bureau Go, with the home team, and hands me a box that was delivered to the door from Country Pleasing since 1976. Look at there. See the red hog matches the hat? I got a box yesterday. It had some hats and stuff in it. And then this box today. From Country Meat Packers, Florence, Mississippi on the side of the box. There's a red hog. Authentic hickory smoked sausage. On Facebook at Country Pleasing Sausage. On Instagram at Country Meat Packers. And I pull the lid off this thing. And then I see this shiny foil, which means we're sealed up with some really good stuff to eat in there. And I open it up, and here we go. Look at there. Pepper jack and green onion sausage. Jalapeno and cheddar sausage. Do I need to keep saying sausage? Jalapeno and pineapple. Come on. Black pepper and cheddar. Look at there. And, of course, old tried and true original smoked sausage flavor. You can't go wrong with that. I am stocked up. Hallelujah. It's been a great day. So we'll have to put some of that in the freezer, and some of it's not going to make it to the freezer. It'll be in the frying pan real soon. And on the grill. Thank y'all so much. Get you some. Whew. My adrenaline's pumping. Heart's beating. Got excited at all that sausage. Black pepper and cheddar. I hadn't had some of that in a while, and it's absolutely some of my favorite. Okay, let's head over to the text line. Tyga, with 2 H's, says Paul Skeens needed some help big time in Pittsburgh. Looks like the Cy Young winner is going to get that help. Well, yeah, look, I'll tell you this. So, Tyga, if you're an LSU fan who kind of has followed along Paul Skeens, who's just absolutely dominant. He is absolutely dominant even at the major league level. And he just had no help, right? But if you go look, Brandon Lau, the second baseman for the Rays, I mean, he's really, really good. Like he's immediate help. Jake, switch hitter, outfielder, we know what he is. And he's just always on base. He's always on base. What was he, like a half a percentage point from batting 300 this year in his rookie year? So he's absolutely going to help him. And then, if and when, I'm not familiar with, contract and rookie contract and when you get plugged in and all that kind of stuff. I don't know, but just we know what Connor Griffin is. It sounds like they're getting a little pitching help also. Matt from Brandon texted the show. Country Pleasing text line. In your opinion, would creating a group of 5 league generate any interest and, more importantly, money? Matt, yes, it would. Yes, it absolutely would. And I don't know how close it is. Now, I didn't get to see it. In fact, I regret, but I'll admit it. I guess I was in the car sometime in the last couple of days, and a buddy of mine texted me a link. I think it was an X post that had a video of Nick Saban, and I only saw the caption. I intended to go back and watch the video when I wasn't driving, and I have not done it. But the caption was something along the lines of Saban saying that the group of 5 league needs its own playoff. And I was like, thank you. Not only have I been screaming and hollering for that for 10 years, okay, you can actually, you wouldn't dare put the effort into something so inconsequential as this, but I'm just, to prove a point, if you were to go back and look at my YouTube channel, somewhere back in the annals of the archive of that thing, maybe not quite 10 years ago, but somewhere around maybe 17 or 18, somewhere in there, I made a video at that time pointing out and outlining why the group of 5, which it was maybe something else then. What do we call it? I don't know, whatever it was we called it. But group of 5 needed its own playoff, its own league, its own separate thing, its own championship, its own playoff, and its own trophy to chase. And the very basic premise to even start that conversation was, even back then, this right here, Matt, and again, people who've listened to this show have heard me say it over and over and over and over and over and over till they're sick of it. And I'm sorry to make you sick again. You're telling me that right now, as it stands right now, this minute, today, you're telling me that South Alabama is chasing the same trophy as Alabama. Well, Matt, James Madison's in the playoffs. Yeah, they are. Watch what happens. Congrats on the access. Okay, to a degree. But watch what happens. No shot at actually winning the thing. They know it. We know it. They know it. You want to make it right. Have their own level. What I'm telling you is it makes perfect sense, especially in 2025 now. Think about this just for a minute. Think about all these different angles for a minute. Oh, we got 50-something bowl, 60-something bowl games out here, 50 bowl games. And they're all dying. Players opting out. Teams don't want to go. Bowl system's dying. Wait just a minute. What if half of that quote-unquote bowl system was able to merge or morph or tie itself into playoffs for a whole other level of college football that makes sense? For example, then instead of the Louisiana Bowl that Southern Miss is going to play in on December the 23rd at 4:30 p.m. in the afternoon, instead of the Louisiana Bowl, the New Orleans Bowl at the Superdome. Instead of it just, it's a bowl game between an 8-4 and a 7-5 team, Western Kentucky versus Southern Miss. I mean, it's great, whatever, fine. But instead of it just being a one-off bowl game, no, the New Orleans Bowl is an actual playoff game for 2 group of 5 teams. It could be Western Kentucky and Southern Miss who are meeting in this playoff. The loser's done, the winner moves on. So if that were the case, how excited are the fan bases compared to what they are? How much better television is it compared to what it is? Therefore, how much more the viewership compared to what it will be? Therefore, how much more money everybody makes on that compared to what they are. There's nothing about it that doesn't make sense. Now, the only potential drawback might be this, Matt, is if some blue blood somewhere, I mean, just pick one. Let's just go blue blood U in the Power 5 or 4, whatever it is. You know, one of the top 10 or 15 teams and places in the country that are so gung-ho and so greedy might look at its leadership and say this: hey, even though they'll never be us, they'll never pay their team the kind of payroll we're paying ours here at little old Southern Miss or little old South Alabama. But all it takes is for them to have one interested booster, throw $1 million at one good player of ours, and just do it once, and buy our player off of our roster so that he can play down there and they can go win their other championship they're chasing. And it's suddenly become a little more popular because there's more people watching it on TV. We don't want that here at Big Blue Blood U. So let's don't give them their own playoff. Let's lobby against that. So somebody will bring that up, but in every other shape, form, or fashion. And all you'd have to do, Matt, is the right people, quote unquote leaders, you know, some of those that we have right now, that really flimsy backbone they walk around with. But if we could get some stiff ones, real leaders, to walk in there and sit down with television. Television's driving the whole thing because they're the ones spending the money. Everybody's after the money. Everybody's concerned with the money. Everybody's paying attention to the money. So if you could actually convince the money to do this, it might get done. And it would be so much better than what it is. And for a lot of people, okay, out there, fans included, who have gotten to a point where they go, you know what? I don't like the way it looks at the, top 30 or 40 schools. They're paying all the players. It's all transfer portal stuff. It's real gross. I don't like that anymore. They're going to migrate over there and start paying attention to this other stuff because it's a little bit more like what they can associate with and call it actually college football, because a bunch of those teams in the group of 5 are really just trying to have the old scholarship system and go to have the good old college try so those kids can play ball because they love to play. There ain't a whole lot of millionaires running around in the group of 5 system. It'd be better all the way around for everyone. And it's embarrassing to a degree, Matt, that it's taken this long for some people to start to think about it. I mean, good on Nick Saban for blurting it out in 2025. They should have been doing it, not just talking about it, but doing it 10 years ago. That's how far behind the whole thing is. Good question. All right, here we go. Over to the phone line, the Junction phone line. The Junction delis all across the state of Mississippi, fueled by Prince Oil Company. On line 1, Brando. Thanks for calling, Brando. What's up?
Hey, Matt, I have a question, but first of all, in the spirit of Christmas, can we have Bee's Twinkle Toe jingle while I ask the question?
You asked for it, you got it, Toyota.
I love it. Hey, I'm going to hang up after the question, but what do you think about the Frank Wilson hire at Ole Miss? I like it, but I was just going to get your opinion.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, appreciate the call. Here you go, Brando, just for you. Merry Christmas. And for the record, it has nothing to do with Twinkle Toes. This is from Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Don't let your kids watch it. But now let me say, all right, to answer his question, he said, Frank Wilson hire at Ole Miss. What little I know of Coach Frank Wilson over the years has pretty much always been as a recruiter, Brando. I honestly myself, I don't know much about him in terms of coaching a position, and what the history is there and kind of what he's thought of in that regard. he was, I know, on the staff and then became the interim. And it seems like at one time he was a head coach somewhere. Let's see. He was, so he was a head coach for a few years at UTSA. He was a head coach for a couple of years at McNeese State. And then, like you say, at LSU these last several years. He spent some time at Southern Miss in 2008. He spent a couple, 3 years with Orgeron at Ole Miss. And it said he was running back special teams back then. So, again, the guy's been all over the place. He has not stayed in one place very long. Maybe a couple of stops where he was somewhere 3 years. Looks like maybe 3 years at UTSA and then 3 years, a decade and a half earlier at Ole Miss. But other than that, has kind of bounced around. So lots of experience. He's coached running backs at Ole Miss. He's coached receivers at Tennessee. He's been an assistant head coach, another stint coaching running back. So positionally kind of on the offensive side of the ball, and then has run some teams. And so plenty of experience, and I would just think it's a good thing. But in terms of what kind of coach and how people think about his ability to coach a position, I just don't really know. I wouldn't be able to speak to that. J-Rock. Yeah, we saw that. Mangum to the Pirates. Let's do it. Let's do it. Beaver can make fun of me all he wants. It might even be warranted. That's okay. That's okay. It doesn't even bother me anymore. Go Pirates. What do they say? Go Bucks? They call them the Bucks. Kind of like Buccaneers. Go Pirates.
Something deep-rooted here might be coming up that, remember, I'm a lifelong Cubs fan, so in the same division. So
yeah.
There might be some of that welling up here.
Now we are down into the, as my man Nacho would say, the nitty-gritty. Beaver's a Cubs fan. Hey, Beav, I'm just saying, if I were in that division and I see the Pirates, they got Skiens, and now here comes some experienced offense and utility guys and on-base guys with the up-and-coming number one prospect in all of baseball, Connor Griffin, my knees be shaking a little bit too.
And here's the thing. I like Paul Skeens. That dude is a beast.
A beast.
I've never met Connor Griffin, but I've met his dad, Kevin, several times. I love his dad. To the extent that I used to call him Kevin Griffin number 2, because the lead singer of Better Than Ezra has the same name, Kevin Griffin.
Really?
But actually, Connor's dad has taken over the number 1 spot.
Oh, wow.
So I can't argue with these moves. I'm just messing. Well,
okay.
Just messing with.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah. I'll be interested to hear. I'm not joking and not trying to make it up for a radio effect. The Rays home broadcast crew, it was like an older gentleman that was doing the play-by-play. He was outstanding and just smooth and never drove you crazy with a bunch of, it was the opposite of like watching a college football game. And then their analyst was a guy who had played, who was super knowledgeable and could get really detailed and a great communicator, but he would also have fun, but it was not goofy silliness. They did a great job. It's the Rays broadcast crew. I don't even know their names. So I can only hope that the Pirates are equal or as good.
So you're saying they're super knowledgeable on communication?
They're super knowledgeable on communication. They're super knowledgeable on the Rays and their history, Beef. Hang on, I'm going to look it up right now. Pirates TV broadcast crew. All right. Beaver, listen to this. Pittsburgh Pirates broadcast team on Sportsnet Pittsburgh and on radio features play-by-play voices Greg Brown and Joe Block. Beaver, do you remember a couple of days ago I mentioned to you that a long time ago I did a TV game between UCF and Marshall?
Yeah.
All right. The sideline reporter for our broadcast, I was the analyst on the broadcast. The sideline reporter was Allison Williams, who went on to work for the Worldwide Acronym, and then I think she does something else now. She's a great person. Our play-by-play guy that day was this guy, Joe Block. I called one game with him. It was that game. Kevin Smith was the best player in the game. He was a running back for UCF. He's now on the coaching staff at Ole Miss. And Joe Block was the play-by-play announcer that day. I used to keep up with Joe. We'd communicate back and forth, lost time. But see, I think Joe went to work for the Brewers for a while. And I think Joe actually went to work for the Brewers for a while and got to work with Bob Uecker. And then landed one of the main gigs for the Pirates. And then color commentator, you got to be kidding me. Bob Walk, former Major League pitcher for the Atlanta Braves from 81 to 83. He also pitched for the Pirates, obviously, for a few years, well, about a decade after he was with the Braves. But Bob Walk, the former Atlanta Brave, is the analyst. This is fantastic. Hey, Beef, I'm full-on Pirates fan. No hesitation. I'm full-on Pirate. Make a note. Y'all stick around. Back after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Hey y'all, Matt Wyatt here. Each week on the Mississippi Outdoors Podcast, we talk with the people who live it. Hunters, biologists, game wardens, local celebrities, and storytellers that know Mississippi better than anyone.
Those bass come up there and attack them. You know how mean bass can be there.
You're never going to believe this. Matt Wyatt just talked about your deer on the radio. I said, what did he say? He said, it was Photoshopped. And I said, what?
They don't know anything about hunting. They just have never had that right, that freedom.
Dude, that's us, man. That's what we do. So tune in. Be inspired, and we'll see you outdoors.
After these messages, we'll be right back. Yeah.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. Local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties in this entire state. And if anything does arise and you need to, run it up the chain or up the flagpole, the home offices for Farm Bureau Insurance are in Jackson, Mississippi. It's right here in the state of Mississippi. It doesn't get more local than and personal, the service that you get with Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. I can't recommend them highly enough. And if you haven't, recently, let them give you a quote. Home, life, auto. It's Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple, bun size, 3 links bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage. The Junction Delis, convenience redefined, and Prince Oil Company, a match made in heaven. The Junction Deli, fueled by Prince Oil Company. Prince Oil Company has been fueling Central Mississippi since 1960. It's a pretty good little while. Wonderful people. Man, am I ever more tickled that they're a part of the show and I'm a part of their team now. As you know, if you listen to the radio show, I've been to the Junction in several different places around the state. I've bought gas just like you at a lot of places.
Losing again. You're going to hear about them all and get to talk about it with Matt Wyatt right here, right now on the Zone 105.9 and worldwide at thezone1059.com.
Back with you. I'm Matt in the Bureau. Now, this is a cool picture and text right here from Scott. Scott is on the Ole Miss campus today, and he sent me a picture of the Apache helicopters practicing their flyover for the Ole Miss game tomorrow. That is awesome. Man, the flyover stuff, name something cooler at a sporting event. Okay, then these big flyovers that you get. And whether it's the Apache helicopters or like the big, I'm a total novice. I don't know anything about it. That humongous thing from the Air Force Base that flies over some of the state games sometimes. And then, of course, you have the jets and stuff to do the flyover. That's really cool. Thanks for the picture, Scott. I bet that was neat to witness it. Brett and Brandon texted the show. He said, Pirates also have the best pitcher in baseball. Paul Skeens, fun to watch. Hands down the best, right? Nick, with the correlation on that, though, says Skeens in Pittsburgh is like if Brady had been drafted by the Browns. Right. All right, I got to go back to something. I don't know if I've ever disagreed with Jared more. Jared said if the group of 5 were to have their own playoff and their own championship and their own trophy, it would be equal to the NIT in basketball. Well, Jared, I disagree. Because think about this. Like the NIT can have Mississippi State and Ole Miss in it, and Virginia, and North Carolina, and NC State. Teams like that all the time wind up in the NIT because they didn't make the top 68 teams in the country. 68, 70 now, whatever it is. So it's not the same at all. Absolutely, Jared. Trust me. If you can't quite see it with your own eyes right now, just trust me because you will and you'll see it. The best thing that could happen in terms of making a step. Remember what one of these coaches, who was it? Drinkwitz this week said, we just got to make some steps in the right direction. Right now, there's nothing happening. Got to, a few positive steps. You know what would be a positive step? Break this Power 4, 5 stuff away. The top, ever how many they are. Break them away. They got their own thing. And they're the college football playoff. And they're the national championship. CFP. Blah, blah, blah. Let them do it. And then what you have, Mountain West, MAC, AAC, Sunbelt, CUSA, all this that are great schools that have a lot of great players and coaches, is really competitive, the majority of which not making a dime because you don't have, millions and millions and millions of dollars in revenue being generated, and you don't have maybe a big booster at one of those schools who's willing to throw, $8 million at a football roster. You know what I mean? And let them chase their own championship. They have their own playoffs. They can actually win a thing. And it makes sense. Again, instead of pretending which has kind of been going on for years, it doesn't hurt anybody to do it differently. They've been pretending for ever how many years that Southern Miss is chasing the same trophy as Ole Miss. What sense does it make? I mean, it makes no sense to do it. Now, some people will go, well, look, Alabama's always been in the SEC, and we've always had the SEC for the SEC schools, and they could always go win a championship in whatever scenario they were playing under, whether it's being voted on or whether it was BCS or then they started the playoff, and it was these other schools, these little schools that kept trying to get in. They wanted to get in on that. Well, we let them in. We play them. It's not our fault that they can't go win the championship. Okay, fine. So you admit they can't go win the championship. And so therefore, what is it going to hurt you, SEC, or you, Big Ten, to let them break off and go do their own thing? Your schools in the SEC and Big Ten don't give a flip about the non-playoff bowls anyway. Half your teams won't even go play. You're getting invited and turning it down. So don't pretend as though you need to hang on to that either. Give the group of five their own playoff, their own league, their own trophy to chase. It's better for everybody. Okay, and anybody who's ever stood on a stump and said something about upholding the idea of preserving the experience for the college athlete. The college athlete's, experience really matters to us. Okay, what about the athletes at the University of Louisiana Lafayette? What about them? Okay, what about the athletes at UNLV? You care about their experience? Because they don't have a championship to chase. Give them one. And then, like I said earlier, when someone goes, well, but it could potentially damage a Power 4 school if there's a group of five school that makes a play for one of their kids they want or something. Or takes a few TV viewers away. Just reply with this. If you're scared, say you're scared. Or scared, say you're scared, like the bumper sticker. Delta Tide fan, my man. He texted the show and he said, I have a more sensible idea when it comes to teams trading players and fans switching teams. Instead of saying I'm a fan of XYZ team, why don't we just say we're a fan of the player? Athletes get traded frequently in all sports, so be smarter thing to say that instead of being a Pirates fan, say I'm a Jake Mangum fan. I think that makes a lot of sense, Delta Tide fan. It's very practical, very pragmatic approach. But during the commercial break, started to warm up to the idea that when baseball gets started, that Beaver and I can have a real rivalry going with each other. If I go Pirates fan because he's a Cubs fan, that could be fun. So we may try that. Tyga texts the show, says, Matt, I think you're missing the point with a JMU, James Madison, or Group of Five school getting into the big boy playoff because you're focused on everything that's good about the world. He said, unfortunately, college football isn't. It's all about money. JMU just hit jackpot by being in the playoff. A G5 playoff, though it would be great, would not generate the payday that the college football playoff does. It's all about money. Okay. Well, I mean, there's a lot of sense in what you're typing right there, Tyga. Saban was the one who said, what? James Madison being in the playoff instead of Notre Dame is like sending, what did he say? It's like sending a AAA team into the MLB playoffs instead of one of them. He said that's what it's like, basically. Well, so that's Saban, and that's what he's saying. Okay, it's all about the money. Okay, they hit a big jackpot payday. All right. And you know what, Tyga, to your point, I will admit, all right, that if even the group of 5 schools, from James Madison right on down to the most obscure group of 5 school you can find, if they too are going to prioritize and take the approach that their big brothers in the P5 or P4 have taken, which is only prioritize money, only. To heck with school, to heck with college and education. Forget it. Don't even pretend as though it don't even exist. It's not a thing. School, education, college. Why? Just forget it. Stop even saying it. Don't even call us a school. Don't call us a college. Just call us so-and-so football. And we're only going to prioritize the money, period. Well, if that's the approach they're going to take, then fine. Don't change it. Let them all die a slow death. Because guess what, Tyga? That's what they're doing. They're going to run out. So ever how many group of 5 teams you have, ever how many hundred it is, we get one in the playoff, maybe 2 on a good year, so that you can go up there and be their sacrificial, opening round deal. And for the sake of that, so that 1 or 2 can get them a payday, money, we're happy to just stand here, look out in the desert at all the other group of 5 schools and watch them starve to death, right on down to the point that their little bony elbows and ribs are sticking out. Fine with me, because James Madison got a payday. Well, hey, look, if that's what they want, have at it. Make your bed and lay in it. All I'm doing is telling them what they ought to do. They don't have to listen to me. Back after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. Local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties in this entire state. And if anything does arise and you need to, run it up the chain or up the flagpole, the home offices for Farm Bureau Insurance are in Jackson, Mississippi. It's right here in the state of Mississippi. It doesn't get more local than and personal, the service that you get with Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. I can't recommend them highly enough. And if you haven't, recently, let them give you a quote. Home, life, auto. That's Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar, It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple, bun size, 3 links bun size. Look at that right there. Whee! Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage. We'll be right back after this message from C Spire. My name is Matt Wyatt. I host the Matt Wyatt radio show out of my home using C Spire fiber.
And when we hit the road as a family, Matt's show goes with us, thanks to C Spire Wireless.
Its ultra-reliable nationwide network lets me broadcast live from anywhere.
And never miss a moment that matters.
Connecting you to what inspires you most on C Spire's blazing fast 5G network. And right now, get your choice of free phone. That's customer inspired. That's C Spire.
Y'all like coffee? I know you do. Check it out. Little High Point Roasters from New Albany, Mississippi. That is the breakfast blend. It's a whole bean. And if you notice, that's how much I've had already. Brazil Oberon. Not Orgeron or Orgeron, you LSU. No, Brazil Oberon. That ain't all. What we got there? What flavor is that? Papua New Guinea, grade AA. Bring it on. High Point Roasters, New Albany, Mississippi. Roasted right there. That's whole bean. One more. I got more. Ah, tried and true.
1059.com.
All right, back with you. We are all set to, I tell you what, I was going to say end the show, and it kind of got away from me. I didn't realize we were so deep in the show. I was just having a good time with y'all on a Friday, and we're going to end the week the right way, coming up in just a bit, some Bible questions, and even a couple of questions specifically about the Bible. Coming up with Terry Fant, pastor at Hickory Ridge Baptist Church in Florence. So that is coming up. State Grad 98 did text us and said that when he found out that Beaver was a Cubs fan, that's when he started liking him. So yeah, they have that in common. We might get ourselves a little, NL Central little rivalry thing going on here when baseball season kicks up. I'll look forward to that. Now that Jake is in Pittsburgh. Okay, I'll look it up. Jason, thank you for that link. I'm supposed to look up Wildfire Tommy Rich. Talking about a wrestler with a glorious old-time hillbilly accent. I'll look it up. I will look that up. And Blitz, you were right that State played UCF when Kevin Smith was the running back. And I think it was in the Liberty Bowl when Coach Kroon was there. Maybe at the end of that 07 season, I believe. Yeah, in the Liberty Bowl in Memphis. That's right. Good stuff. All right, let's head over to the Junction phone. Junction delis all across the state of Mississippi. They're fueled by Prince Oil Company. So you pull up to the pump, fuel in your tank, go inside, a little fuel in your belly from the Junction Deli. You got to eat kind of on a regular basis, right? And there are some other things you got to do on a regular basis. The Bible says we ought to have our nose in that Bible on a regular basis. All right, what about all that? Let's talk with Terry Fant, pastor at Hickory Ridge Baptist Church in Florence, Mississippi, on your radio on a Friday. Terry, welcome to the show. Happy Friday.
Matt, happy Friday. Thanks for having me.
All right, so I noticed, I want to start this way. I noticed you posted something on Facebook today. Do I have it right? It says that starting in 2026, You're going to lead people through a whole series of reading through the Bible chronologically. Like, is it going to be the whole thing throughout the year?
Yes. So actually, it'll be the second year for us to do it, as a church, but not just a church. I invited, anybody who wants to join in with us. And we did that in 2025, and the Lord just pressed on my heart, we need to do it again. And so what we do, Matt, we read this 1 year chronological study Bible in the New Living Translation. And in this particular study Bible, it's like on the pages, it'll have the date.
Okay.
Like, January 1, January 2. And you'll have a certain selection of reading from the Scripture that is chronological. So it won't be in the same order that your standard Bible is in.
Okay.
But it's actually in the order of as it happened.
Okay.
And so we'll read through that together.
That's really neat. And so you did it last year. And do I have it right again that if you stick with that and start with that on the first day of the year, finish on the last day of the year, you've read the whole Bible? Is that what it is?
Yeah, absolutely. You'll read the whole Bible, and that sounds like a daunting task, but really it's not. I mean, honestly, you're talking about 15 to 20 minutes of reading per day.
Yeah.
Now add with that some prayer time as well, obviously, but actual reading time, 15, 20 minutes a day, and you'll have read the whole Bible as it happened, dates-wise, as it happened in one year.
That's really cool. And for those listening, you can look up a couple things. You can find Terry Fant on Facebook, but you could also find his podcast, Truth for Today with Terry Fant. Did I get the name right, Terry?
That's it.
Okay. So look that up. Now, regarding reading the Bible, whether it's chronologically as it happened or not, but reading it every day throughout the year, why? Why do I need to do that?
Well, I'm going to read Joshua 1:8, if that's okay, man.
Yep. Absolutely.
And he said, Joshua 1:8 says, "This book of the law shall not depart from your mouth, but you shall meditate in it day and night, that you may observe to do according to all that is written in it." And then he says, why? For then, what does he mean? What is then? When you've read it, when you've spent time meditating in it every day, then you will make your way prosperous, and you will have good success. And so, it's, if you're talking about the life of a human being here on the earth, over and over in the Bible, we're told if we'll spend time in it daily, every day, and meditate, not just read it and say, well, I checked my verse of the day kind of thing, but read it and then meditate on it. That's not a weird, thing sitting in the corner with your fingers touched, humming. It's holding the Scripture, what you read about, some short thing you read about. It's holding it in your mind, thinking about it, maybe even talking about it. It's rolling it around in your mind.
Right.
And he says, then your way is going to be prosperous, and you'll have good success.
Okay. So, and what if somebody wanted to argue with you and they said, but I thought I wasn't supposed to believe in this quote unquote prosperity gospel stuff? And it's saying
that's a great angle. I'm glad you touched that.
Yeah.
Because prosperity does not always mean more money, a bigger house, or the newest four-wheeler. The prosperity guarantee of God is that for instance, if I'm reading Scripture on how to become or live as a husband God's way, then if I'm meditating on, Ephesians 5, when he talks about loving my wife like Christ loved the church, and I'm meditating on that, I'm thinking about it, then God's word is changing me, and I'm going to be living that out in my marriage, and I'm going to have prosperity in my marriage when I'm in his word, learning his way and applying it every day.
Great stuff. All right. And you sent me a couple of things, including this scripture from Psalms. And this is right at the beginning. I just looked at that and realized that, Terry. So this is Psalms 1, verses 2 and 3. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law he meditates day and night. He shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that brings forth its fruit in its season, whose leaf also shall not wither, and whatever he does shall prosper. I mean, it sounds, that's Psalms 1, 2, and 3, but it's almost like he's in some ways quoting Joshua 1:8.
Yeah. Just saying it a different way.
Yeah.
Two things he says here. He uses the illustration of a tree that's planted near a source of water.
Mm-hmm.
And so even when the land dries up, it's still close to a place where it can get the water it needs.
Yeah.
And because of that, he's representing that, as a man or woman who meditates on the word, spends time daily. He says, first of all, it's going to be fruitful. So there's going to be spiritual fruit in my life. But look at this other thing. He says, whose leaf shall not wither. Now, he didn't say there'd never be a drought.
Yeah.
He didn't say there wouldn't be hard times and difficult days. But he said, because this tree is planted by this river of water, it's not going to wither. So the man or the woman who's meditating in God's word every day, still hard things are going to come, but they're not going to wither up and dry up and be destroyed. They're going to be able to keep going because of God's word.
What about the idea of kind of making it habit, to read every day? Is it that simple, or is it more than that?
I tell you, man, it really is. It's about repetition. It's about consistency. I heard from a 95-year-old man, strong man of God, and he had some of us younger guys around him ask him, hey, what key would you give us to the Christian life? And he said, that's easy. After 96 years or 95 years of living, he said it's the word consistency in the word, in prayer, consistency. So there is something very important about the consistency in the word. And if the listeners right now who are listening will just Google the impact of people reading the Bible 4 days a week, just 4. The study shows also medically, stress levels, ulcers, blood pressure. It'll blow your mind, the statistics that go along with people who at least do it 4 times a week.
Mm-hmm. At the very least 4 times a week. And sometimes, too, it's that old lie we get going in our head. And when you outline it, Terry, you say, okay, 15 minutes a day. Well, I've got that. Pretty much everybody does. 4 times a week, minimum. I've got that. I'm out of excuses. It's simply a matter of being consistent and pouring some discipline on it and doing it, isn't it?
It really is. It's a matter of prioritizing.
Yeah.
And belief. There's also belief. There's belief. I have to believe that what Paul says about his word is that it's living and active.
Mm-hmm.
It's more than just black ink on a white page. And if a person will engage in reading it, they'll find out. They can test it themselves.
Right.
And find out. Not just take my word for it, your word for it. They can just test it and see what happens.
Right.
This year we had a young lady, if we have just a second, who was practicing. She was a practicing witch, Matt. Okay. And she heard we were doing the chronological study Bible. She started that, listened to the podcast, came and met with me in my office, was born again, and is now a faithful follower of Jesus Christ. She's renounced all that and turned her back on it.
Mm-hmm.
See, because she got into the Word, and the Word started getting into her.
Right. And it changed her life. That's outstanding. Terry, thank you so much for coming by a little time. I'll continue to point people there. Truth for Today with Terry Fan is the podcast. You can find him. Let's get one of those Bibles. Let's read it every day next year. Terry, thank you. Have a great weekend.
God bless you, Matt. Thank you for your time.
Yes, sir. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you all for being here. See you on Monday. See you.
This Christmas, C Spire will help bring